Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here, showing off my new Coyote Pistol. Now, when I say Coyote Pistol, I don't mean that I bought this pistol to go out and hunt coyotes with. I actually bought this because between me and my fiance, we have quite a few dogs, and out in the country, when you let the dogs out, there could potentially be coyote attacks, especially when you get a newer dog. And sometimes we take the dog on a walk outside the fence, but even within the fence, coyotes can climb over those little chain link fences because they're only 4 foot tall. And I've seen pictures of coyotes climbing fences and getting animals and then bringing them back over and then eating them. So the idea was that I would get a pistol to protect against coyotes, to protect our dogs against coyotes at nighttime when we would let them out or take them on a walk around the property. And obviously I have many pistols I could have used this for, but I'm at the point in my life, in my gun collecting career, where I really gotta find excuses to buy new guns. And, I don't have a gun for this very specific use, and that's kind of where I am right now. Although, let's be real, I can just buy one if I wanted to for any reason I want. So, but anyway, I set out to find a good pistol for this specific purpose. I wanted something in 9mm. I wanted something that was all on all metal frame and everything like that. I very much like classic guns. So my two top contenders for this specific use was the Walther P38, which is a World War II era single stack 9mm. And then the other option was the option I went with, which is the Smith and Wesson Model 39, which again is a single stack 9mm, and it's been around for a very long time. In fact, this is the great granddaddy of a couple of my other Smith and Wesson pistols. And it is just a beautiful gun. Now, I did not buy, this was a fairly expensive gun. I did not buy the one that was in pristine condition. Obviously it's got quite a few scratches, and I'm perfectly okay with that, because that just means I don't have to worry about putting scratches on a nice, really nice looking pistol. This already has scratches on it, but even with that, it just adds character to the gun. I just really like this gun, the way it looks, the wood grips and the blued steel and the anodized aluminum for the frame. It's just a really good looking gun. Now, why did I go with this gun over something more modern like a Glock or an M&P or something like that? Well, again, like I said, I like very classic looking guns, 1911s, these old Smith and Wessons, the old Rugers, the Berettas, the CZs, all these different classic guns. I like the heavier guns with the big, steel and aluminum frames. But I also wanted something that only had a single stack magazine. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but there's just something about a single stack 9mm magazine that just brings you back to a simpler time. Back when we didn't have all these extreme politics and all this technology, social media, all this kind of stuff that just kind of brings you down these days. It just brings you back to a more simple time with more simpler pleasures. An 8-round 9mm back then was a pretty good gun. It still wasn't the highest capacity gun out there, even back then, but it still was a pretty good gun when you're going up against 6-round revolvers, 5-6-shot revolvers, 8 plus 1, and even nowadays, I think you can get a 9-round magazine for this gun. For back then, that was pretty good capacity. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. The other reason I kind of wanted a single stack 9mm is because for coyote protection just around the property, you know, I wouldn't be too far away from the house, and I don't really need 15 to 17 rounds for coyote protection. Not that more capacity isn't a good thing, but you know, if my dog is being attacked by a coyote, I'm probably just gonna, you know, shoot off a few rounds, grab the dog, and run back in the house. I don't really need something that holds 15 to 17 rounds, or you know, up to 20 rounds. You know, some of these guns these days, they hold 19 to 20 rounds. I didn't really need that much capacity. You know, 7, 8, 9 rounds. That's plenty for something like this. And again, not that, you know, more firepower is a bad thing, but, you know, I just kind of wanted something that was a little more classic and, you know, not something that's on everybody else's radar. Although these guns these days do catch a premium price. I paid with shipping and with insurance and all that, I paid right at $800 for this on Gunbroker. So, and I still had to pay my FFL fee after that. But, you know, this was the cheapest. You know, the same seller was selling 4 of these. This was the cheapest one, and they went up like in $100 increments up from there. So, this was definitely the cheapest one, and personally, I think it's a pretty good gun. The only thing I think is kind of weird is this magazine follower. I've never seen a magazine follower like that. I don't know if that's supposed to look like that, or if there's, you know, they just kind of put something in there to be a follower. You know, I've never seen a follower like that. I could be, you know, it could be how they made magazines back in the, you know, 50s or whenever this gun came out, 50s, 60s. Or it could just be something that's not supposed to look like that. But anyway, that is the new Coyote Pistol. This is a Smith and Wesson model 39-2. I'll do a more formal review of it in the near future, and probably at least one shooting video with it, and it'll probably show up in many videos from here on out. But anyway, that is the new Coyote Pistol. Really excited about it, and I'm really excited to be back in the gun buying game. I plan on buying another gun, probably a revolver, here in the next couple months. So anyway, we're back into the gun buying business and collecting. So subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.